Hey everyone, get ready for a captivating journey that will leave you craving for more.
From exploring the depths of our world to understanding the human psyche. Come join us on this adventure.
I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Tyler.
And this is the Edible Attitude Podcast. Hello.
Good evening, dear.
How are you today?
Great, how are you?
Fantastic.
Do anything fun over the weekend?
Just toured to college, Costco, you know.
Costco runs are always fun.
Not on a Saturday. I've learned my lesson.
Oh, yeah, probably not.
Yeah, no Saturday. There's way too many people. And then I remember why I like living in a small town.
Because people.
Yes.
Some people's children.
But to be fair, that was the end of my day, and it was a very busy, people-y filled day. So, anyway, what did you do? Anything fun?
No, I just worked like normal.
Yeah, but you have Wednesday, Thursday, and then Monday today that you didn't work. So that was your weekend.
That's true.
Although you did work yesterday for a little bit.
Yeah, not very long. I just went in to talk to somebody about something.
So you didn't really work. You were just there observing.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Didn't really do anything. I just talked to the guy about, some game planning, what we could do to make, the situation that we were talking about, better.
Right.
But that's pretty much it. Didn't really do anything.
Sounds like your typical work day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, sometimes. I usually do something. Or try to, anyway.
That's all we can ask of you.
Yeah.
That's all we can ask. You got a fun fact for us for today?
I sure do. Fun fact. The largest known living organism is an aspen grove.
Oh?
It's a grove of trees.
Yes, I got that.
So pando is Latin for I spread out, and is a group of genetically identical quaking aspens in Utah with an interconnected root system. It's an estimated 80,000 years old and takes up more than 100 acres.
Wow.
So they're all connected.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. Over in Utah. Shout out to Utah.
Utah. Not just known for the Mormons.
Yeah. Yeah, not just known for those guys, people, whatever.
Good. Good for them.
Yeah, I don't think we have any giant groups of trees living around here. Maybe pine trees. They're pretty.
About the North Woods are full of trees up there.
No, I mean, that's all kind of interconnected together. Maybe bushes, but not like trees,
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I don't pay attention.
I always thought pine trees were interconnected because they're always so close together.
Yeah, but they're not.
Yeah, I guess not.
Sad day.
Such is life.
True.
So what do we got this week, dear?
Oh, we're going to talk about Vlad the Impaler.
Vlad the Impaler.
You excited?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I got a lot of information to throw at you.
Good. I know a little bit about Vlad, not a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
He's considered Dracula.
Yeah, I'll hit on that a little bit.
And he was batshit crazy at one point, just murdering a bunch of people. Not his people. Other people.
There's a reason.
There's always a reason.
Mm-hmm. But he would be tried for war crimes nowadays. But, back in the 1400s, nobody gave a fuck.
He was just trying to protect his people.
He was just mad.
That too.
Well, I'm going to give a little bit of a brief synopsis, and then we'll get into it and go into a little bit more.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Should I buckle up?
Yes, buckle up, Buttercup.
I don't have a seatbelt.
I'll make you one.
Should we just move to the vehicle?
It's really cold.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cold down here. My fingers are cold.
My fingers hurt. Your fingers hurt. My fingers hurt. Well, looks like someone just pulled garden duty. Happy Gilmore?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you just pulled garden duty.
What
We had one.
We don't have one. Should I try again this year? No. Okay, got
You
it.
can. I'll let you.
You had a look on your face like, probably not. But I'll say yes because I love you.
Go ahead. I'll watch them exist for a little bit.
I did really good till August.
Yeah. Maybe August is your cutoff.
It's just more of a, I got bored.
Oh.
And it's...
So you just let the plants die.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's no hose that reaches over there, so it's kind of a pain in the ass to have to fill up my watering can like 2 times. Yes, I'm lazy. I should get a hose. I should have a hose.
Damn. That's crazy.
You could help a girl out.
I could if I was home half the time when you watered the flowers. I watered the flowers last year.
Yeah, when I was gone for a vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a good job. It looks better when you did it than when I did it.
Because I wasn't lazy about it.
Oh, I still did it. I would do it in the morning and when I came home because it was real hot. Probably in for a real hot summer again, considering how mild our winter was.
Oof.
But I
not ready.
digress. I don't want to talk about weather. I'm not that dull.
Fair enough.
I would like to talk about Vlad the Impaler.
Oh, yes. Let's get back on that topic.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. It's getting real late, you know. We're old. We gotta be in bed soon.
Maybe you, but not me.
Who told me as soon as I walked in the door from work? I'm so tired.
The cat.
Pretty sure it was you. Anyway, let's get back to Vlad the Third, otherwise known as Vlad the Impaler.
Oh.
He was governor of Wallachia 3 times between 1448 and his death in 1476 or 77. We're not sure if it was December or January when he died. He is often considered one of the most important rulers in Wallachian history and a national hero of Romania.
So Wallachia is in Romania?
Nowadays it's called Romania, but back then, so...
Oh, okay.
He was the second son of Vlad Dracul. Dracul is... I don't know what language. They never really said what language they speak, but it means dragon. So he's Vlad the Dragon. That was his dad's name.
His dad was the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
His son was the impaler.
Yes.
Together they make...
A dragon impaler?
Sure, a spiky dragon.
There you go.
That's bullshit!
He was the second son of Vlad Dracul, who became the ruler of Romania in 1436. Vlad and his younger brother Radu were held as hostages in the Ottoman Empire in 1442 to secure their father's loyalty. Vlad's eldest brother and their father were murdered after John Hunyadi, who is the regent governor of Hungary, invaded Romania in 1447. So basically, he was held hostage with his brother, and all the craziness happened basically because of that.
Oh, fun.
That was just a brief little overview of what happened in his life. So like I said, Vlad's father was Vlad Dracul. The name Dracula, which is now primarily known as the name of a vampire, was for centuries known as the sobriquet of Vlad III. Diplomatic reports and popular stories referred to him as Dracula, or Dracula already in the 15th century. Just different variants of Dracula.
Oh, so Dracula didn't have the same definition as it does now?
Nope. He himself signed his 2 letters as Dragula or Dracula in the late 1470s. His name had its origin in the sobriquet of his father, Vlad Dracul, Vlad the Dragon, in medieval Romanian, who received it after he became a member of the Order of the Dragon. Dracula is a Slavonic genitive form of Dracul, meaning the son of Dracul or the dragon. In modern Romanian, Dracul means the devil, which contributed to Vlad's reputation. Vlad III is known as Vlad the Impaler in Romanian historiography. The sobriquet is connected to the impalement that was his favorite method of execution.
As such is his name.
Right. During the Ottoman Empire, he was referred to as Impaler Lord.
Oh.
So Vlad was the second legitimate son of Vlad II, who was himself an illegitimate son. Vlad II had won the Monckier Dracul for his membership in the Order of the Dragon, a militant fraternity founded by Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary. The Order of the Dragon was dedicated to halting the Ottoman advance into Europe. Since he was old enough to be a candidate for the throne of Wallachia in 1448, Vlad's time of birth would have had to been between 1428 and 1431. Vlad was most probably born after his father settled in Transylvania in 1429. A historian writes that Vlad was born in the Transylvanian Saxon town of Sighisophia, then in the Kingdom of Hungary, where his father lived in a 3-story stone house from 1431 to 1435. Modern historians identify Vlad's mother either as a daughter or kinswoman of Alexander I of Moldavia, or as his father's unknown first wife. So we don't know who Vlad's mother is.
That sounds about right.
Well, from back then, why would we know?
Right. Could be anybody. Could be a harlot.
Well, he's legitimate, so he's He had to be married to her at some point.
Married to the harlot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because they're only legitimate if they're married.
Sure. Right.
After a meeting with John Hunyadi, governor of Transylvania, Vlad II Dracul did not support an Ottoman invasion of Transylvania in March of 1442. The Ottoman Sultan, Murad II, ordered him to come to Gallipoli to demonstrate his loyalty. Vlad and Radu accompanied their father to the Ottoman Empire, where they were imprisoned. Vlad Dracul was released before the end of the year, but Vlad and Radu remained hostages to secure his loyalty. They were held imprisoned in the fortress of Irgaz, Emet, according to contemporaneous Ottoman chronicles. Their lives were especially in danger after their father supported Vladius, king of Poland and Hungary, against the Ottoman Empire during the Crusade of Varna in 1444. Vlad Dracul was convinced that his two sons would be butchered for the sake of Christian peace, but neither Vlad nor Radu was murdered or mutilated after their father's rebellion.
That's good.
Is it good?
Well, that they didn't die, yeah.
Sure, but to what he does later on, I'm not sure that was probably the best.
Well, when you make your bed, you gotta lay in it.
Fuck around and find out, right?
No shit. They thought they were doing something. Oh, they fucking did something.
Yes.
Lit a fire under somebody's ass.
Vlad Dracul again acknowledged the Sultan's suzerainty and promised to pay a yearly tribute to him in 1446 or 47. John Hunyadi, who had then become the regent governor of Hungary in 1446, invaded Wallachia in November of 1447. A Byzantine historian wrote that Vlad and Radu fled to the Ottoman Empire, which suggests that the Sultan had allowed them to return to Wallachia after their father paid homage to him. Vlad Dracul and his eldest son Murcia were murdered. Hunyadi made Vladislav II, son of Vlad Dracul's cousin Dan II, the ruler of Wallachia. I don't think his name was Dan.
His name is Dan now.
It is now. But I don't think his name is Dan.
That'd be an odd name for a Romanian.
Well,
hey, get Dan over here.
Yeah, get Dan over here. I think there was another name. Oh, Bogdan. So I think his name's probably Bogdan, and that just didn't translate over.
We're just going to
call him Dan.
We're going to call him Dan.
Because that makes me happy, and it was 600 plus years ago, and who fucking cares?
Bogdan, Dan, it's there.
It's there. But I thought it was funny. Dan II.
Dan II.
Of Wallachia. All right. Let's go on to Vlad the Impaler's first rule.
Oh, how many times did he rule? 3? Oh, boy. Can't wait.
And he was exiled and all this good stuff.
Sure. Well, they just keep pissing him off.
Upon the death of his father and elder brother, Vlad became a potential claimant to Wallachia. Vladislav II of Wallachia accompanied Hunyadi, who launched a campaign against the Ottoman Empire in September of 1448. Taking advantage of his opponent's absence, Vlad broke into Wallachia at the head of an Ottoman army in early October. He had to accept that the Ottomans had captured the fortress on the Danube and strengthened it. The Ottomans defeated Hunyadi's army in the Battle of Kosovo between 17 and 18 October. Hunyadi's deputy Nicholas urged Vlad to come to meet him in Transylvania, but Vlad refused him. Vladislav II returned to Wallachia at the head of the remnants of his army. Vlad was forced to flee to the Ottoman Empire by December 7th of 1448. So Vlad writes a letter to his counselors and says this: "We bring you the news that Nicholas writes to us and asks us to be so kind as to come to him until Hunyadi returns from the war. We are unable to do this because an emissary from Nicopolis came to us and said with great certainty that Murad II had defeated Hunyadi. If we come to Vezaki now, the Ottomans could come and kill both you and us. Therefore, we ask you to have patience until we see what has happened to Hunyadi. If he returns from the war, we will meet him and we will make peace with him. But if you will be our enemies now, and if something happens, you will have to answer for it before God."
You goddamn right. He's asking them politely. See, he's giving them a chance.
He is.
And they're, I'm just guessing, gonna laugh at him. And he's gonna be like, oh, you better watch it. I mean, I've seen the movie Dracula. I know how this ends. Speaking of which, that's a good movie.
I don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, we have.
We watched Dracula?
It's like Dracula 2000. 2008 or something like that. It's with that dude from The Hobbit.
Martin Freeman?
No,
Just
no,
kidding.
no. He's Bard. They call him Bard, I think. He's got that fucking spear in his house.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I don't
That
know
guy.
who you're talking about.
His name is Luke Evans.
Is that Chris Evans' brother? I'm just kidding.
2014. It's called Dracula Untold.
I'll have to watch the trailer and see if I can remember.
I don't think he's Chris Evans' brother
No,
because
I'm
he
just
was
kidding.
born in the UK.
Oh, that's okay.
No, it's the UK.
Oh. All right. Vlad first settled in Erdene in the Ottoman Empire after his fall. Not long after, he moved to Moldavia, where Bogdan II, his father's brother-in-law and possibly his maternal uncle, had mounted the throne with Hunyadi's support in the autumn of 1449. After Bogdan was murdered by Peter Aaron III in October of 1541, Bogdan's son Stephen fled to Transylvania with Vlad to seek assistance from Hunyadi. However, Hunyadi concluded a 3-year truce with the Ottoman Empire on 20th of November in 1451, acknowledging the Wallachian boyar's right to elect the successor of Vladislav II if he died. Is that
Okay.
better?
So they made a truce with him.
Yes.
Smart move.
Vlad allegedly wanted to settle in Brasov, but Hunyadi forbade the burghers to give shelter to him on February 6th of 1452.
The burgers?
Yeah, Burgher burgers. That's just what they're called.
So we got french fries from Greece and burgers from Romania. Wild.
It just means a citizen of a town or city, typically a member of the wealthy people. That's what burger.
That's what a burger is?
Yeah. Just
Wow.
look it up.
I'm glad that word changed. Don't want to be eating
Your neighbors.
or wealthy people. Actually, you know what? I don't even care about them. Very good. I said anything.
Vlad returned to Moldavia, where Alexandro had dethroned Peter Aaron. The events of his life during the years that followed are unknown. He must have returned to Hungary before July 3rd of 1456, because on that day, Hunyadi informed the townspeople of Brasov that he had tasked Vlad with the defense of the Transylvanian border.
Okay, so he got moved.
Yes.
So he was a general in the army?
It sounds like it, yes. He was like in the army doing all his shit.
Some leader or something?
Right. And then when his dad died, he should have taken over as governor,
Right.
but he was ousted by a cousin and blah,
They
blah, blah, blah.
fucked him over.
Yes.
Planting the seeds for that revenge. Can't wait.
On to his second rule.
Round two.
Round two.
Fight.
The circumstances and the date of Vlad's return to Wallachia are uncertain. He invaded Wallachia with Hungarian support either in April, July, or August of 1456.
Oh.
Vladislav II died during the invasion. Vlad sent his first extant letter as governor of Wallachia to the burghers of Brasov on September 10th. He promised to protect them in case of an Ottoman invasion of Transylvania.
Wait, who died? His brother?
Vladislav, his cousin.
His cousin
His
died.
cousin that
Oh.
usurped him, basically.
Oh, okay, that fuck.
Hmm.
Well, thank God we got rid of him.
Yeah.
They got rid of him.
His name's Vladislav.
Vladislav
Not to be confused with just Vlad.
or Vladimir.
And there's no Vladimir in this story.
Nope, no Vladimir. That's Russian, not Romanian.
Hmm. He promised to protect them in case of an Ottoman invasion of Transylvania, but he also sought their assistance if the Ottomans occupied Wallachia. In the same letter, he stated that when a man or a prince is strong and powerful, he can make peace as he wants to, but when he is weak, a stronger one will come and do what he wants to him, showing his authoritarian personality.
Well, he wasn't stupid.
No,
He knew the game.
he did.
He just wanted to be in charge because he deserved it because of line of succession and all that. You know, Game of Thrones and whatnot.
Yes,
It's always a touchy subject with the Game of Thrones.
true.
It always is because it's like, well, I should have been because of this reason. And then some fucking 5-year-old's like, do I get the crown? I guess so.
Or they get locked in a tower and never heard from again.
Why are we talking about Princess Fiona like that?
Now talking about the princes in the tower, that's another story for another day.
Oh, we're not talking about Fiona. I thought we were going off on a Shrek rant. My bad.
That's bullshit.
No, I wasn't going off on a Shrek rant. I was going off on
Another story.
another story
Ooh.
that really happened.
Oh.
No one knows what happened to those princes, but I digress. Multiple sources recorded that hundreds or thousands of people were executed at Vlad's order at the beginning of his reign. He began a purge against the boyars, who had participated in the murder of his father and elder brother, or whom he suspected of plotting against him.
So he killed the people he told that he was going to protect?
Nope. He just began a purge against the boyars who had participated in the murder of his father and elder brother, which he told the people that in the town he was occupying when he was exiled that he would protect them.
Oh.
The rich people in that town.
Okay. Different people.
Different people. Historians state that Vlad quickly effected a great change and utterly revolutionized the affairs of Wallachia through granting the money, property, and other goods of his victims to his retainers. The lists of the members of the princely council during Vlad's reign also show that only 2 of them were able to retain their possessions between 1457 and 1461. So he just took everybody's money.
Kind of like that cult we were talking about last week.
Yeah, but this was against their will.
Oh, not like the cult.
Cults are different because they willingly give up their money.
Ah, okay. So these people were just like, no, you can't have my money. And he's like, well, that's not my fucking problem now, is it?
Yeah.
All
but 2 people had to give up their money and possessions.
All of but 2 people?
Uh-huh.
Why were those 2 people so goddamn important? Man, if I was the people getting my money taken, I'd be pissed at those people that didn't have their money taken. Or stuff, or whatever you want to call it. Oh, they were on his team.
Right, and he stole from all of them except for 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what that was.
Sure. Maybe they did a better job than the rest of them.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe he liked them more.
Could have been.
Who knows?
Could have been. Good for them.
Yeah.
Get on his good side.
Yes, Vlad. Whatever you say, Vlad.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I will totally kill that bag of puppies. I don't know.
A bag of puppies, huh? That's the only thing you could think of.
A bag of... I was going to say children, but that's worse. A bag of children.
A bag of children.
Sounds like we're going back to talking about Krampus now.
Yeah, let's not bag children up and murder them. That's not right.
Beat him with rods or whatever he beat him with.
Vlad sent the customary tribute to the Sultan. After Hunyadi died in August of 1456, his elder son, Ladislaus...
What a fucking name.
Ladislaus.
The hell did he... How did he come up with that name? He just put a bunch of L's and S. He was drunk. That makes sense. He's just like,
Ladislaus.
Ladislaus.
It's kind of fun to say, Ladislaus.
Sounds like you're trying to pronounce something like Sid from Ice Age. It's the last dandelion of the season.
So after Hunyadi died, his elder son Ladislaus became the captain general of Hungary. He accused Vlad of having no intention of remaining faithful to the king of Hungary in a letter to the burghers of Brasov, also ordering them to support Vladislaus II's brother, Dan III, against Vlad.
Dan's back.
Dan's back.
So they want to be on Dan's side.
They want him. They want Dan to be governor of Wallachia.
Again, they just keep fucking up.
They do.
Why not just be like, here you go, Vlad. We'll give you all of our money and stuff.
They just want the power, you know?
Yeah.
The burghers of Cebu.
There's more of them.
Mm-hmm. They're just wealthy people that live in a town. It doesn't necessarily mean which town.
I was going to say, there's a lot of meat going around.
The burghers of Cebu supported another pretender, a priest of the Romanians who called himself a prince's son.
Oh.
The latter, identified as Vlad's illegitimate brother, also named Vlad.
Vlad's brother, Vlad?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Took possession of Emmaus, which had customarily been held by the rulers of Wallachia and Transylvania. Ladislaus V of Hungary had Ladislaus the other one.
There's more?
Yeah, apparently. Ladislaus.
Sounds like coleslaw.
It does.
Ladislaus.
Ladislaus V had Ladislav Hunyadi executed in March of 1457.
Good Lord. Only one can have my name, fucker.
So Ladislaus Hanady's mother, Elizabeth, and her brother Michael stirred up... they've got normal names.
There's Dan, Elizabeth, and Mike.
Stirred up a rebellion against the king. Taking advantage of the civil war in Hungary, Vlad assisted Stephen, son of Bogdan II of Moldavia, in his move to seize Moldavia in June of 1457.
So now Steve's in on it.
Jesus along with
Christ.
Dan.
Steve, Dan, Elizabeth, and Mikey.
Vlad also broke into Transylvania and plundered the villages around Brasov and Sibiu. The earliest German stories about Vlad recounted that he had carried, quote, men, women, children from a Saxon village in Wallachia and had them impaled.
Sounds about right.
Since the Transylvanian Saxons remained loyal to the king, Vlad's attack against them strengthened the position of the royal family.
How did it strengthen them? I would think that'd make it weaker.
You'd think.
Way to make something out of nothing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Vlad's representatives participated in the peace negotiations between Michael and the Saxons. According to their treaty, the burghers of Brasov agreed that they would expel Dan from their town. Vlad promised that the merchants of Sibiu could freely buy and sell goods in Wallachia in exchange for the same treatment of the Wallachian merchants in Transylvania. Vlad referred to Michael as his lord and elder brother in a letter in December of 1457. Ladislaus, Hanady's younger brother Matthias...
Oh, we got a Matthew now.
Excuse me, his name's Matthias.
Whatever. They're just being
fancy. Was elected King of Hungary on January 24th, 1458. He ordered the burghers of Sibiu to keep the peace with Vlad on March the 3rd. Vlad styled himself lord and ruler over all of Wallachia and the duchies of Amias and Fagaris. On 20th of September 1459, showing that he had taken possession of both of these traditional Transylvanian fiefs of the rulers of Wallachia, Michael allowed the boyar another Michael.
There's two Michaels now. They in cahoots.
There's two Michaels. There's two Ladislaus. Bunch of Vlads.
They're not very.
They're not very original. No.
Yeah.
But it says Michael allowed the boyar Michael, an official of Vladislav II of Wallachia, so the cousin that died.
Right.
And other Wallachian boyars to settle in Transylvania in late March 1458. Before long, Vlad had the boyar Michael killed.
Oh, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. You can only have one. There can only be one.
There can only be one.
He flipped a coin, for sure. And he's like, so you're dead.
Which Michael dies today? Heads or tails?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
He had too many Michaels in the city. Couldn't handle it.
Yeah, I don't blame him. In May, Vlad asked the burghers of Brasov to send craftsmen to Wallachia, but his relationship with the Saxons deteriorated before the end of the year. According to a scholarly theory, the conflict emerged after Vlad forbade the Saxons to enter Wallachia, forcing them to sell their goods to Wallachian merchants at compulsory border fairs.
Good. For him. But that doesn't sound like it's going to pan out well.
Vlad's protectionist tendencies or border fairs are not documented. Instead, in 1476, Vlad emphasized that he had always promoted free trade during his reign. Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't sound like it.
The Saxons confiscated the steel that a Wallachian merchant had bought in Brasov without repaying the price to him. In response, Vlad ransacked and tortured some Saxon merchants, according to a letter that Basarab Leota, a son of Dan II of Wallachia, because Dan has to be extra, I guess.
I suppose. Sounds like it.
So according to a letter that Basarab, son of Dan II of Wallachia, wrote on the 21st of January, 1459. So Vlad is now ransacking and torturing Saxons because they're not listening to him.
Good. Like he had rules. They should have listened.
Sure. Basarab had settled in Sigasora.
What does a stegosaurus have to do with anything?
I know, that's what I'm thinking. And laid claim to Wallachia. However, Matthias supported Dan the Third, who was again in Brazov.
There's a third Dan?
I guess.
They just keep popping up everywhere.
Must be son of Dan the Second.
I guess. There's too many Dans.
There's too many.
Oh my God. Why did he kill Mike? Mike doesn't seem like he's naming anybody Mike. He should start going after Dan.
Matthias supported Dan the Third against Vlad. Dan the Third stated that Vlad had Saxon merchants and their children impaled or burnt alive in Wallachia.
Yeah. And? Did they listen? No.
Babies can't listen.
They can listen. How do you know it's babies?
They said children.
Well, children could be any ranges.
Well, you just wait.
I don't agree with his tactics, but on the same side.
You gotta fuck around and find out. Yeah, I get you.
Exactly. Fuck around and find out. Although the kids are probably innocent. There's a good... Unfortunately, they're just involved on...
Yeah, because they're not going to want to take care of a bunch of orphans, so I get it.
Right.
So they have to kill the kids, too, because it just makes more fiscal sense.
Yeah, so more Dans can move in.
Absolutely.
More Dans and more Mikes. Let's get it.
Let's go. All right, so this is a letter from Basarab to the counselors in Brasov. You know that King Matthias has sent me, and when I came to Barisi, the officials and counselors of Barsov and the old men of Barisi cried to us with broken hearts about the things which Dracula, our enemy, did. How he did not remain faithful to our lord, the king, and sided with the Ottomans. He captured all of the merchants of Brazov who had gone in peace to Wallachia and took all of their wealth. But he was not satisfied only with the wealth of these people, but he imprisoned them and impaled them, 41 in all.
Damn, he made a wall out of them.
Nor were these people enough. He became even more evil and gathered 300 boys from Brazov that he found in Wallachia. Of these, he impaled some and burned others.
Oh, boy. Why? Just 'cause? To send a message? Is he sending a message? Is that what he's doing? Are they his people?
Yeah.
They're his people?
Yeah, they're in Brazov. The Brazov people he said that he was going to protect, and now he's like, just kidding. You're not listening to me. You like Dan more than me. Fuck off.
Okay, I can see where he was a little peeved, but you didn't have to go that far.
No.
You could have just killed Dan.
He's just doing too much. It's okay.
Yeah, he's doing way too much. His message is loud and clear. He can chill.
If you are enjoying this topic and you would like to talk more about it,
you can find us at Edible Attitude or at Edible Attitude Podcast
on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. So Dan the Third broke into Wallachia, but Vlad defeated.
How do you break into a country?
That's what I want to know. So I wonder if there had to have been walls. It was probably a fortress or something. That's what I'm assuming. They don't say why, but they say they keep referring to breaking into the city.
Were there fucking border guards everywhere?
Well, we've watched enough of those, like Game of Thrones and such to know that there are such things as...
I suppose, but it would make more sense if there was, like, people on the road, on horseback, like, patrolling and stuff like that. I could see that. But how do you, you just walk past a tree and you're in another country? That doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just assuming the whole country is walled off.
It's gotta be.
It's just a big wall.
They just keep referring to people breaking into it, so it's gotta be.
There's gotta be a lot of holes in that wall from them breaking in. They just keep using the same one.
Or they just go over.
That seems like a lot more work than just going through.
You can sneak in better that way.
Sure, but explosions are always fun. Or they just dug their way underneath.
This was in the 1400s, sweetheart. I really don't think they had explosives.
Not with that attitude.
That's bullshit.
I could dream, okay?
Okay, I apologize. So anyway, Dan broke into Wallachia, but Vlad defeated and executed him before April of 1460.
One less Dan.
One less Dan.
So which ones are alive? Which one died? Dan?
The third.
The third? Oh, we got the first two then. He killed the youngest one. Oh, dang. He's starting at the bottom. I see his plan.
Do you?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what he's thinking.
Vlad invaded southern Transylvania and destroyed the suburbs of Brazov, ordering the impalement of all men and women who had been captured.
Jesus Christ. Definition of take no prisoners.
Yeah. No shit.
Take no prisoners. Send a message instead. You got it, bud.
During the ensuing negotiations, Vlad demanded the expulsion or punishment of all Wallachian refugees from Brasov. Peace had been restored in July of 1460 when Vlad addressed the burghers of Brasov as his brothers and friends. Vlad invaded the region around Amlas and Fargas on 24th of August to punish the local inhabitants who had supported Dan III.
Can't be supporting those guys.
You can't.
Dans
No
are
Dans.
bad.
Dans are out. Vlads are in. Remember that.
Listen to Vlad. Vlad knows what's up.
You ever come across a Vlad, just listen to him. You don't want to end up impaled somewhere.
Good point.
Yeah.
This is,
Although it doesn't sound like his dad was kind of a bitch like this, but whatever.
well, his dad seems like a pushover compared to this dude. His dad didn't send any messages. Vlad's sending messages. It's not even the good kind either.
What's a good kind?
Well, I don't know, chocolates. Send it in a box with chocolates.
Can you send me a good message like that? No, that's what I thought.
I always send you good messages. Like, good morning, and I love you, and how's your day going? And why didn't you clean this?
Especially that last one.
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
sure.
time. All day long. Like, why didn't you clean this?
I'm just walking around the house,
Yeah,
just eyeing everything
Yeah.
up. Details. Scanning constantly. The cat points stuff out to me.
I bet he does. And then he probably tells you, that bitch didn't feed me today.
No, he just whines. I don't know what he says. He can't speak English.
All right, on to the Ottoman War.
Hell yeah. Let's find out who does what.
The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, who invaded Wallachia during Vlad's reign, served as a janissary, which is a member of the Turkish infantry, forming the Sultan's guard.
Janissaries are wild. Like, they were awesome warriors.
I'm glad you knew what that was.
I know what Janissary is because of the show Deadliest Warrior. It was on Spike TV back in 2000s. Early
Interesting.
2000s. It was a great show.
The Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, who invaded Wallachia during Vlad's reign, recorded that Vlad refused to pay homage to the Sultan in an unspecified year. A Renaissance historian likewise wrote that Vlad had failed to pay tribute to the Sultan for 3 years. Both records suggest that Vlad ignored the suzerainty of the Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II already in 1459, but both works were written decades after the events.
So he didn't pay taxes for 3 years. Now he's coming for him.
Right. A secretary in the Sultan's court stated that Vlad only turned against the Ottoman Empire when the Sultan, quote, was away on the long expedition in Trebizond in 1461. According to the secretary, Vlad started new negotiations with Matthias, but the Sultan was soon informed by his spies. Mehmed sent his envoy, also known as Yunis, to Wallachia, ordering Vlad to come to Constantinople. He also sent secret instructions to Hamza to capture Vlad after he crossed the Danube. Vlad found out the Sultan's, quote, deceit and trickery, captured Hamza, and had them executed. So he found the Sultan's spies, found out about what he had planned for him, and killed him.
Oh, damn.
After the execution of the Ottoman officials, Vlad gave orders in fluent Turkish to the commander of the fortress of Girigu to open the gates, enabling the Wallachian soldiers to break into the fortress and capture it. They just had a lot of cities that had walls around them, I guess.
Interesting.
He invaded the Ottoman Empire, devastating the villages along the Danube. He informed Matthias about the military action in a letter. He stated that more than 23,884 Turks and Bulgarians had been killed at his order during the campaign.
Good lord.
He sought military assistance from Matthias, declaring that he had broken the peace with the Sultan for the honor of the king and the Holy Crown of Hungary, and for the preservation of Christianity and the strengthening of the Catholic faith.
Oh, hell no. Vlad's not okay with that.
The relationship between Moldavia and Wallachia had become tense by 1462, according to a letter of the Genesee governor of Kaffa. Having learnt of Vlad's invasion, Mehmed II raised an army of more than 150,000 strong that was said to be second in size only to the one that occupied Constantinople in 1453, according to historians.
Damn.
Yeah. The size of the army suggests that the Sultan wanted to occupy Wallachia, according to a number of historians.
Well, yeah, he wasn't fucking around.
Mm.
He's like, no, this I will not stand for.
Mm-hmm. Which is good, because Vlad's just out of control.
Oh, yeah, he's going on a tirade.
Mm-hmm. On the other hand, Mahmud had granted Wallachia to Vlad's brother Radu before the invasion of Wallachia, showing that the Sultan's principal purpose was only the change of the ruler of Wallachia. So he doesn't want it, he just doesn't want Vlad ruling it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep.
He just was like, no, this guy's batshit crazy. I don't want him anywhere near here.
I can't blame him, though.
Me either.
The Ottoman fleet landed at Betrayal, which was the only Wallachian port on the Danube, in May. The main Ottoman army crossed the Danube under the command of the Sultan of Nikopol, Bulgaria, on June 4th of 1462. Now, I want to know why they know the exact dates, unless I guess they wrote it down.
Sure, there's somebody who was scribbling down on a piece of paper documenting.
That's true.
I feel like a lot of campaigns had that.
Yeah.
Just some, I don't know what you want, secretary?
Yeah, I suppose. I think they even do it nowadays. It's just weird to me.
It's like having photographers out in the field nowadays.
Yeah.
Or, news reporters. Kind of like the same thing, only I would assume that whoever's taking these notes or writing shit down for the campaign is safely behind their own line and not dying.
Typically.
So they're just kind of like, well, my job's pretty easy compared to that.
Yeah, no shit. Outnumbered by the enemy, Vlad adopted a scorched earth policy.
Hell yeah.
And retreated toward some small town. During the night, Vlad broke into the Ottoman camp in an attempt to capture or kill the Sultan. Either the imprisonment or the death of the Sultan would have caused panic among the Ottomans, which could have enabled Vlad to defeat the Ottoman army. However, the Wallachians missed the court of the Sultan himself and attacked the tents of the viziers. Having failed to attack the Sultan's camp, Vlad and his retainers left the Ottoman camp at dawn, and Mahmud entered at the end of June. So Vlad was just a little early. He was a couple weeks early.
Oh.
Shit.
He's just a tad off on his calculations.
A little bit.
So he killed all of his higher-ups?
Yeah, the town had been deserted, but the Ottomans were horrified to discover a, quote, forest of the impaled.
Hell yeah.
Thousands of stakes with the carcasses of executed people, according to historians.
Hey, man, you got to make a statement if you want to freak him out.
Right.
He's using that fear tactic.
Uh-huh.
He's Batman.
Batman didn't kill people.
Yeah, but he's using the fear tactic.
It's
just
true.
like Batman.
True.
If he was Batman, he'd have a cape.
So if I have a cape, does that make me Batman?
No.
Oh.
That makes you Batgirl. There's a difference.
You're no fun. I want to be Batman.
You can't be Batman.
Why?
Because you're not Bruce Wayne.
You don't know that.
You're not a playboy philanthropist. Billionaire playboy philanthropist.
I would really only care to be a billionaire out of all those titles. So
That's fair. Or Batman.
yes, I'm Batman.
And Batman.
All right, so this is just a small part of a history of what happened. So this is a quote. The Sultan's army entered into the area of the impalements, which was 17 stades long and 7 stades wide. I'm not sure what stades is. It's a measurement about 210 yards long.
So one stade is 210 yards long.
Correct.
17 stades long by 17 stades wide.
By 7 stades wide.
Oh, that's big.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people.
That's a lot of... Oh, my God. That would be horrifying. It would literally be a forest of people.
That's pretty much what he said. A forest of the impaled. That's exactly how they described it. There were large stakes there on which, as it was said, about 20,000 men, women, and children had been spitted. Quite a sight for the Turks and the Sultan himself.
I bet. They were probably floored.
Probably. The Sultan was seized with amazement and said that it was not possible to deprive his country of a man who had done such great deeds, who had such a diabolical understanding of how to govern his realm and its people. And he said that a man who had done such things was worth much. The rest of the Turks were dumbfounded when they saw the multitude of men on the stakes. There were infants, too, affixed to their mothers on the stakes, and birds had made their nests in their entrails.
That's...
As I said, it gets worse.
Must have been there for a while.
Oh, for sure. Because they said middle of June, he thought he was getting to the Sultan, but it was just their camp, and he came in about a week and a half later, the end of June. So
boy,
they were sitting there a week and a half, 2 weeks.
that would be something I'd never forget.
Oh, no, sure not.
Oh, dang.
A historian recorded that the Ottomans suffered from the summer heat and thirst during the campaign. The Sultan decided to retreat from Wallachia and march towards Betrayal. Stephen III of Moldavia hurried to Chilia to seize the important fortress where a Hungarian garrison had been placed. Vlad also departed, but left behind a troop of 6,000 strong to try to hinder the march of the Sultan's army, but the Ottomans defeated the Wallachians. Stephen of Moldavia was wounded during the siege and returned to Moldavia before Vlad came to the fortress.
Well, he tried. He had an idea.
He did.
It didn't work.
It didn't.
Oh, too bad.
The main Ottoman army left Wallachia, but Vlad's brother Radu and his Ottoman troops stayed behind in the Bargan Plain. Radu sent messengers to the Wallachians, reminding them that the Sultan could again invade their country. Although Vlad defeated Radu and his Ottoman allies in 2 battles during the following months, more and more Wallachians deserted to Radu. Vlad withdrew to the Carpathian Mountains, hoping that Matthias would help him regain his throne. However, it was recommended in mid-August that the Saxons recognize Radu. Radu also made an offer to the burghers of Brasov to confirm their commercial privileges and pay them a compensation of 15,000 ducats.
So like shekels.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. Matthias came to Transylvania in November of 1462. The negotiations between Matthias and Vlad lasted for weeks, but Matthias did not want to wage war against the Ottoman Empire. At the king's order, his Czech mercenary commander captured Vlad in Wallachia. To provide an explanation for Vlad's imprisonment to Pope Pius II and the Venetians, who had sent money to finance a campaign against the Ottoman Empire, Matthias presented 3 letters, allegedly written by Vlad in November of 1462, to Mehmed II, Mahmud Pasha, and Stephen of Moldavia. According to the letters, Vlad offered to join his forces with the Sultan's army against Hungary if the Sultan restored him to his throne.
Ooh.
Most historians agree that the documents were forged to give grounds for Vlad's imprisonment. Matthias's court historian Antonio Banfi admitted that the reason for Vlad's imprisonment was never clarified. He writes, "The style of writing, the rhetoric of meek submission, hardly compatible with what we know of Dracula's character, clumsy wording, and poor Latin are all evidence that the letters could not be written on Vlad's order." He associates the author of the forgery with a Saxon priest of Brasov.
Oh. Had somebody else do it, huh?
Yeah, because he wasn't in his writing style. Like, there's no way Vlad wrote this.
Right. He was... if he wrote something, he'd probably just sound batshit crazy, like, I'm gonna kill you all if you don't give me my shit. Why does he have to go to violence right away? I suppose he got fucked over and he's just got a bad hangover because of it, you know?
Yeah, he just wants people to like him. No, he wants people to fear him. He wants to rule by fear.
While he's doing the Batman thing, for sure.
Vlad was first imprisoned in the city of Belgrade, according to historians. Before long, he was taken to Visegrad, where he was held for 14 years.
He was in prison for 14 years?
Sure was.
Good Lord.
No,
That's all? He should have been in there for life.
Sure. No documents referring to Vlad between 1462 and 1475 have been preserved. In the summer of 1475, Stephen the Thing of Moldavia sent his envoys to Matthias, asking him to send Vlad to Wallachia against authority, who had submitted himself to the Ottomans. Stephen wanted to secure Wallachia for a ruler who had been an enemy of the Ottoman Empire, because, quote, the Wallachians were like the Turks to the Moldavians, according to his letter. According to the Slavic stories about Vlad, he was only released after he converted to Catholicism.
Oh,
There
so
you go.
he became a Catholic and they're like, oh, you're fine now.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Well, they ruled back then, you know.
Yeah, it sounded like they had a party. They ruled.
Yeah, that's sick, bro.
They were so cool.
Yeah, we got Pope Pius II. Of course they're cool.
Oh, yeah.
Matthias recognized Vlad as the lawful prince of Wallachia, but he did not provide him with military assistance to regain his principality. Vlad settled in a house in Pest when a group of soldiers broke into the house while pursuing a thief who had tried to hide there. Vlad had their commander executed because they had not asked his permission before entering his home, according to the Slavic stories about his life.
Sounds about right.
Vlad moved to Transylvania in June of 1475. He wanted to settle in Cebu and sent his envoy to the town in early June to arrange a house for him. Mehmed II acknowledged Basarab as the lawful ruler of Wallachia. Matthias ordered the burghers of Cebu to give 200 golden florins to Vlad from the royal revenues, but Vlad left Transylvania for Buda in October.
Okay.
Sounds like he's just running.
Yep. He probably is.
Yeah.
He got out of jail and he's like, well, fuck, I better hide now. For a while.
Yeah, seems like it. So Vlad bought a house that became known as Dracula's house in Hungarian. I'm not going to say it in Hungarian, but it translates to Dracula's house.
Not the castle. Not Dracula's castle.
No, it says Dracula's house.
Oh.
In January of 1476, the governor of Transylvania urged the people of Brezov to send to Vlad all those of his supporters who had settled in the town because Matthias and Basarab had concluded a treaty. The relationship between the Transylvanian Saxons and Basarab remained tense, and the Saxons gave shelter to Basarab's opponents during the following months. Matthias dispatched Vlad and the Serbian to fight against the Ottomans in Bosnia in early 1476. He captured a Serbian fortress and other fortresses in February and March. In the Bosnian campaign, Vlad once again resorted to his terror tactics, mass impaling captured Turkish soldiers and massacring civilians in conquered settlements.
Well, that's their own problem. They let him out.
Right? His troops mostly destroyed Serbia. Basarab, who tried to defend his throne against Vlad with Ottoman support, Mehmed II invaded Moldavia and defeated Stephen III in the Battle of Valea on July 26, 1476. Stephen Bathory, so different Stephen.
How many are we going to have?
I have no idea.
There's so many. At one point you said Stephen the Third. What happened to the second?
They just,
They just skipped over him?
They just skipped over him because they had nothing to do with this tale.
He's
I'm
like,
sorry for all the names. There's just not much I can do.
He's like the middle child. He doesn't get talked about.
Yes, absolutely. Stephen Bathory and Vlad entered Moldavia, forcing the Sultan to lift the siege of the fortress in late August, according to a letter to Matthias. The contemporaneous Jacob unrest added that Serbians and a member of the noble family also participated in the struggle against the Ottomans in Moldavia. So Matthias ordered the Transylvanian Saxons to support Bathory in his planned invasion of Wallachia in September of 1476. And then the governor, Basarab, returned to Wallachia with Ottoman support, and Vlad died fighting against them in December of 1476 or early 1477.
They finally put him down, huh?
They did. In a letter written in January of 1477, Stephen III of Moldavia related that Vlad's Moldavian group of advisors had also been massacred. According to the most reliable sources, Vlad's army of about 2,000 was cornered and destroyed by a Turkish force of 4,000. The exact circumstances of his death are unclear, so we don't know how he died.
Probably got stabbed.
Maybe he was impaled.
Probably. Karma's a bitch.
So basically they cut off his head, put it on a stake.
Yup. They sure
and
did.
It was displayed and buried in the Ukraine, it looks like, or Bulgaria. And then they don't really know where he is buried. There's a tomb that's supposed to be in this monastery, but they dug it up in the 1930s and he's not in there.
Yeah.
So they don't know where he is.
I remember watching something on the History Channel when TV was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or cable, I should say.
Sure.
About Vlad the Impaler,
mm-hmm.
and they had it where his, like you said, his tomb
mm-hmm.
was at the base of this monastery,
yes.
and people would have to walk over him,
mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like a fuck you, basically.
Yeah, but he wasn't there.
Yeah. Yep.
Some people say he was just thrown into the woods.
That's probably more accurate.
Yeah.
Where he cut off his head and they're like, what do we do with the body? Nah, animals.
Probably. That's probably really what mostly happened.
Yep.
And his skull was kept for a while, and someone probably got him, like, what the hell is this, and threw it away.
Yep.
So they also call him Nosferatu, or Count Dracula.
Yep.
The two other names for Dracula. So the stories about Vlad made him the best-known medieval ruler of the Romanian lands in Europe. However, Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was published in 1897, was the first book to make a connection between Dracula and vampirism. So it's really just kind of loosely because of the whole impalement and stuff.
Sure. Dracula, teeth, impaling people, sucking their blood.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, there's people on spikes losing a lot of blood because they've been impaled.
Right.
Kind of goes hand in hand, I guess.
Right. And it's just like he didn't have a lot of knowledge. He didn't know much about Vlad the Impaler, and not enough for us to say that Vlad was the inspiration for Count Dracula.
That's bullshit.
Just his name.
Right, because he knew about what he did and everything, but
Sure.
he never said that that's who Count Dracula is based on.
Okay.
We just made that because his dad's last name, or not last name, but he was known as Vlad
Dracul.
And so us English speakers like, oh, it means Dracula, not dragon.
Yep.
So sorry that was a little rough to get through, but all those Slavic names threw me off a little bit.
That's okay. That was interesting.
He sure fucked around a lot.
Yeah, he did. He definitely went on a rampage for quite a while until he was stopped.
It was really only, let's see, it was only like over a 20-year period.
He did a lot in 20 years.
And he was locked up for 14 of them.
Yeah, so 6 total. He was fighting and stabbing people. Dang.
Indeed. Well, that's all I have.
Interesting. I liked it. Yeah, what do you think about that?
It doesn't surprise me for the time frame. Like, it was kind of a crazy time to be alive.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of law and order. There's a lot of dividing and conquering.
Yep.
So it's not really surprising. It's disgusting, but
Yeah.
I mean, it happened so long ago that I really, how am I going to get outraged about it if it's not like, it's very sad that these babies died, but everything happens for a reason.
I suppose, but he was just a pissy individual.
He was just angry. He just wanted to rule where he thought he was meant to rule, and was not happy that people were not letting him.
Yeah, I mean, I'd get upset, but not like that.
But you wouldn't kill I'm assuming like close to 30,000 people.
No, if I was gonna kill anybody, it'd be the leader.
Yeah, but how's that gonna teach anybody a lesson?
Because
you better listen, or I'm gonna kill your president. Oh no!
Because if I kill him, I can just sit on the throne, so it's mine now.
No, because then someone else is gonna come along and kill you.
Well, Vlad was Batman, so I could be Batman.
Okay.
But you've never seen Batman and me in the same room.
It's true. Very true.
So think about that one.
I will.
What a crazy bastard.
Yeah.
And all those years sitting in jail didn't do anything.
Mm-mm.
He just
He
got
knew,
angrier.
Yep, and he knew that, well, I just need to convert. Heck, I'll say that I converted. Here I go out. So he was like 46, 47 years old when he died.
It's not very old.
No.
But then again, people didn't live very long back then, so
Well, he was killed in battle.
that too.
But that's a lot to do in 40-some years.
Yeah. Yeah, he was moving constantly. Constantly doing something. Wonder if he ever relaxed. Maybe that was his relaxation, just
Killing
impaling people. Yeah.
I don't think he did the impaling. I think he told his people to impale other people.
Probably.
Yeah.
Because if you're impaling hundreds of yards of people, it would take one person quite a while.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
Just a sea of people on spikes.
A sea of people on spikes. Yeah, that's a little disconcerting. I don't know how I'd feel if I saw that.
I don't know what I'd do. I think I would just look at it like, how did this happen?
Exactly.
Or just one really big what the fuck.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did. Hope you guys enjoyed it also. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight, dear.
I think that sounds like a good idea.
Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you all.
Yes, thank you so much for listening and continuing to support us. It's very much appreciated.
It helps a lot.
It does.
And as always, I'm Tyler,
And I'm Elizabeth.
and this is the Edible Attitude Podcast.